So this is our interview with Kyle Flanagan. He's been awesome enough to join us on the pod this week. So I just want to say, hey Kyle, how you doing?
Hey boys, thanks for having me on the podcast. How good?
Yeah, wicked. So we mentioned on the last episode, Jared's brother has been doing some stuff for us in his business world, and basically we've got a bunch of questions, and Jared's going to kick us off.
Well, because we're fans, I'd like to know what the process is when you sign with another club. So obviously you signed with the Roosters, last year, and you started up.
Yep.
So what's the process from the first phone call to walking into the Roosters training session for the first time? The stuff because all we hear from fans is, there's a rumour that Kyle Flanagan's going to sign the Roosters, and then it's, stays for a period of time, and then you hear a rumour about, you met with Trent Robinson in a coffee shop, for example. So what is actually behind the scenes of that process?
Yeah, well, first thing I'll say is most of the time when you hear a rumour, it's mostly spot on. I think I reckon most of the rumours I see, they're mostly on par there. But for me, when I was at Cronulla, these days you got to be pretty careful about meeting up with other clubs. Obviously, I was on contract there with Cronulla there for 2 years, so before I actually spoke with the Roosters, I was supposed to get clearance and, release before I spoke to another club. But, I caught up with the Roosters guys, spoke with Nick Politis and Trent Robinson. So it wasn't at a coffee shop. Was that?
Well,
it wasn't at a
meeting
coffee
with
shop.
Nick Politis and Robinson. Have you met him before?
I was stunned there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool process, just meeting those guys and just listen to them on what their journey's been in their life so far. And I guess from that dinner, I just decided I wanted to come play for the Roosters, and I couldn't say no.
So it took one meeting for you to be, well and truly in.
Yeah, I think going to the meeting, I obviously wanted to go there. Obviously, the championship team they are, and the whole club and how the club's run in general, the opportunity to say no to that was too good, and to play alongside some of their players is, honestly a dream. Yeah,
because it links in kind of like you're a local junior of Cronulla and playing with, is it Aquinas? Is that how you pronounce it? The Colts?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, Aquinas. I'll give you a pass.
Aquinas, okay, sorry. So playing with them, and so being in the Cronulla Shire, and then pretty much the positions there, and they bring Sean Johnson across. So you would have seen yourself, look, you got Chad Townsend, you got Sean Johnson. I'm going to get a crack here and there, but the opportunity at the Roosters, you've got a starting halves position, and that's pretty much, that would have played a big role in it as well.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, coming through the junior system at Cronulla, I had ambitions to play Cronulla for my whole career, but the opportunity at the Roosters to go play for the defending premiers, back-to-back premiers, I should say. I got to play on a World Club Challenge over there in England as well. So
how was that? How was the tour for that, by the way?
Unbelievable to play over there. My family didn't get to go over there. That was a bit disappointing, but to play my first game for the Roosters in such a big game over in England in front of a crazy crowd, they felt like they were on top of me sometimes. So, that was a moment I'll never forget for sure.
Any awesome stories out of the tour to England?
Oh, there's a few stories, a few good night out after it. There's one story I'll give you guys. I know Jared Hargraves, Roy Hargraves, he likes to go around and jump in people's rooms, so all the boys make sure they lock their doors. And if you get to your room, ends up flipping your bed when you're sleeping. So he's a bit of a scary man, old Jared. So
he looks
he's a
scary.
legend as well.
How big is he in real life?
He's definitely a big man in real life compared to what you see on TV.
I'm a Manly fan. Like, I loved him when he was with us, and I've hated him ever since, because he's one of those players that, you love if they're on your team and you'd hate if they're on anyone else's.
100%.
So with regard to, I've forgotten how to pronounce it already. Aquinas. Damn.
Getting better.
I'm getting better. So I just want to clarify this. So Bronson Sherry and Blake Brayley are two of your best mates, and was it 10 consecutive premierships from under 8s to under 17s?
How do you win a premiership in under 8s?
That's back before you just get participation medals. You actually win.
So how do you get premierships and under? Do you actually have a medal saying you won a grand final in under 8s?
Yeah, I think there is. I think so. Yeah. We got pretty lucky there. We had a good group of mates going at that time. We all went to the same school and obviously played footy together in the afternoons. And yeah, lucky enough, us 3 guys went on to play NRL.
What was there a guy in your team that you thought, because you got 3 of yous that made NRL, was a guy in the team that you're definitely going to make it too, and then for whatever reason didn't?
Yeah, it's definitely Bronson Sherry's older brother. He was the gun coming through the ranks. There used to be articles writing he was going to be the best Cronulla junior produced since ET, and I guess Bronson grew up in his shadow, I guess. But how things turned out, Bronson ended up overtaking his brother, but yeah, his older brother was the gun coming through the junior grades.
That's awesome.
Wow, cool.
So when you rocked up to the Roosters training sessions for the first start of it, how long did it take you? Like, what's the process of getting into their plays and stuff like that? Or do you do fitness straight away, or you just kind of 50-50? What's the process in learning all their movements and, like, you know, you got to be there at that certain time and that kind of stuff? When you move,
it's pretty. It's pretty hard. Obviously, being at Cronulla my whole junior career, I had to really understand how the Roosters play, and that the Roosters are really big on their style of play and understanding their defensive systems, how they want to play their footy. But coming to the Roosters as a halfback, I had to be ready to go day one. So I guess learning the plays, that started way before I went there.
Oh, really? So they gave you a heads up what they were before you even rocked up?
Yeah, for sure. I think the Cronulla got knocked out in week 1 of the finals, and the Roosters are still playing there. So I had an opportunity to sort of get involved with the club and start to really look
so
at
you were
their games.
So you were hanging out with them last year before even the grand final?
I wasn't hanging out with them, but I had the opportunity to go through their plays and I guess look at the paper of the plays and really watch it real life in the game. So I guess that was a little step forward before going into preseason.
So a couple of things on that, and you kind of touched on it before without saying it officially. So you said Roosters were meant to get permission beforehand. Did they actually get permission before they contacted you?
Jesus, Adam.
I don't want to get fined or anything here.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I was just joshing.
Yeah.
So
you can there's always conversations and that going on, but I don't think you can go for tours and that through the facilities and that sort of stuff. But you can always have a chat to different people and see how you're going. I guess that definitely happened for sure.
Cool. When you rocked up for the first time, who was your starstruck person? Who you're like, holy shit, that's him?
I guess I went there the day after the grand final, actually.
I
might have been a couple of days after the grand final, and as soon as I walked in the door, I seen Luke Keary, and I think he was still finishing up after the few days, so he was half asleep, and that's the first time I met Luke Keary, probably when he was half pissed, I reckon.
Is his head as big as it looks on TV in proportion to his body?
I never noticed that. I might give him a bit of stick about it. But no, he's a good bloke, and he's done a lot for me so far. Yeah.
What's it like playing with Cordner, Boyd? Like, is that this?
That hasn't happened yet for me.
Oh
yeah,
he
obviously he didn't play.
Okay. Yeah.
He still doesn't.
But
play.
I'm really looking forward to that opportunity, obviously, to play with the Australian captain and New South Wales captain for sure.
So I'm going to tie, I know we're going all over the shop here. I'm going to try and tie 2 of the questions together. We've kind of half touched on both. Mm-hmm. So the first half, linking back to playing with Brayley and Sherry growing up, and there's a quote when you re-signed for the Sharks through to 2021, talking about wanting to be a leader at the club, and it was your junior club and all that sort of stuff. Now, this will be the first time I guess you're playing against those guys. Was there anyone that you talked to about what it's like to actually face your mates or brothers? I was thinking of like the Morris brothers, because again, players when they talk to the media, I guess it's kind of we're preparing like it's another game. It's just a game. Is there anything like have you sorted out advice or anything?
I guess when you talk about that quote, obviously going through the juniors, I saw what Paul Gowan did for the community and what those guys really did for the fans, and I really want to do that. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but I think I was supposed to verse Cronulla this week, actually, in round 5. So
Oh.
I was so stoked for that game. Hopefully, I wanted to play in front of my family against Cronulla. But, I really wanted to play well. Obviously, you've got to focus on your team and your own performance. But you'll make it a little bit sweeter if you verse your old team, for sure.
I could so see part of that game where Sherry gets a break and you're going back in defense and call the ball on the inside, and he's just like, "Yep, damn it!"
Or just, he's over the try line. You're 10 meters away, and to make the vertical straight at you, just run over you and put the ball down.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that.
You'd have to use. You may as well.
Okay, straight up. What team do you hate?
Oh, I'm going to the second half of the question first, anyway.
I haven't had much luck against Manly. I've versed Manly. Hey, and you said that. I've versed them a couple of times in first grade so far, and I think it's been none from 2. So, yeah, there you go, mate. Manly.
How was that game in round 2? Because Jared and I were watching it in our own houses, but just messaging each other through it. It was 9-8, and we'd watch the other games for that weekend. It just looked a step up on everything else, even though the score was so low. It just looked like finals footy already, and it was round 2 of the season.
Yeah, it exactly was. I think it had the most play the balls in the last 10 years. There's a stat that had the most ball in play, so that just shows the intensity of the game, how high it was, and I guess the quality of the game. So yeah, I think I ran over 9 Ks that game. So that's quite a lot, yeah.
And there was sections where Jared and I weren't messaging just because the ball was in play so often, and we both just went, man, the quality. And who played earlier that day? It was a 30.
Yeah,
it was such a high scoring game, and then you had this, and it was.
Well, okay. As a halfback, what second row are you petrified of? Kick out or someone?
I'd probably say the young gun David Fafita. Obviously, he's not probably as big as the other boys, but that footwork is dangerous. It makes me nervous.
And before Jared jumped in with an awesome question just earlier, talking about you want to be a leader, what do you reckon? If you see yourself as a leader, you seem quite confident. Without you have some players who kind of talk the talk but don't really walk the walk, that sort of thing. So, what sort of leadership traits do you see in yourself? And now going to the Roosters, you've got guys like Cordner and Orbison and Jake Friend. What are some of the things you're looking to pick up off those sort of guys?
Yeah, so I think as you come as a halfback, that leadership obviously comes in the style of play that you play, and you really got to be a voice in the field. So I think that will just happen naturally. But definitely take notice off those guys. Obviously, Boyd's a really good talker and how he talks in the field. But I guess I'm just trying to focus on my footy first, and I guess those leadership stuff will come off the back of that after 50 or 100 games.
All right. We've got going back to the signings thing, a couple of things. When Sean Johnson came over, there was I don't know if this is 100% true. I'm thinking it might be because Haslett had something to say. But were you offered to Manly at one stage as well?
Yeah, that was right. I had I think it was probably the year before that actually, that I could go over there, and I think they had a few injuries to go over there for and play under Trent Barrett. So at the time, I thought I probably wasn't ready for first grade. I remember sitting down with the old man going, what do I want to do here? Because I thought I had a long-term career at the Sharks. So we decided to not go with that. But, that opportunity came up for sure.
Do you feel like signing with Newcastle? Because we need a 6.
I'm loving my time at the Roosters, man. I'm not going anywhere.
Haslam mentioned he's putting a bit of time into Cade Cust. Have you ever played against him? What do you reckon? And if you have, what's he like?
Yeah, so I've played Cade all throughout the junior grades, and I guess there's a good rivalry there. Obviously, the Battle of the Beach and that sort of stuff. So I think we're the same age there. A few mutual friends. I think he's good mates with Sam Verrills, who plays for the Roosters. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing that I know fans probably talk about more and media kind of does, but nothing's really happened, is with regards to the mid-season signings or the literally round one signing. So you just had like Tyson Frizzell sign with Newcastle and he's got to play the whole season with St George.
That's another great second row you're going to be worried about.
Do you think, like, I understand from the players' point of view, they want the security. They want to know what's going to happen past that season. But you're looking at the real successful sport comps around the world, your Premier League, your NBA, all that sort of stuff with your free agency period. Do you think that's something you'd be keen on, where it's either the club you're playing for puts forward the offer and re-signs you beforehand, or you enter free agency to see what you could get on the market and just have a set time period?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Obviously, the players want to know is their security, and it's hard if you're you got a 1-year deal and it's about to finish up in November. So sometimes players are playing for their career sometimes. So, yeah, I think that's a good idea. It's something to think about for sure. I know the NRL's got plenty going on at the moment, though.
Oh, yeah.
What
I haven't heard.
Can you give us an inside scoop of what's going on a little? Like,
mate, it's crazy.
What was that with, like, Paul Kent saying, these are NRL athletes, they don't need a preseason, they should be able to come back, so they'll be training at home. Like,
yeah, how is training at home going?
I've been doing I've been training with, obviously, Brunch and Cherry a fair bit. We're doing some sprint training.
Jesus.
But it's hard. Yeah, I know. But you got to get your body ready for a collision. That's probably the biggest thing. Like we haven't tackled anyone for 3 weeks now, so it's going to be hard to tackle some big boys if you want to turn it on in a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's a thing going around the night, and as we said, we're just fans, so we just look on Fox Sports and Facebook and stuff like that. But it's come out that May 21st is the start of the season. Have you heard anything about that?
I've saw that online, but I guess for me, I'm just waiting to hear from my coaches and our management staff. But I guess we'll have to have a couple of weeks training before that comes around. So until then, I'm just going to focus on training day by day, really.
So both Jared and I used to play. No, we weren't ever anything.
We played C grade, superstars.
C grade, so it's pretty much you pass the ball and get hit 5 or 6 seconds after you've thrown it. One thing I miss is the contact. I love just being involved in the tackle.
I love the sledging.
The sledging too. I found myself, like, for 3 days after the game, not being able to lift different parts of my body or move, that sort of stuff. How quickly does the recovery basically start once a game's finished, knowing that you've probably got, 2 days before training or whatever it is? Is it literally, we see on TV, you go into the sheds, you get the talk from the coach and recovery starts straight away?
Or do you get on the piss?
Yeah. Depends what the next game is, I guess. But
depends if you're versus Newcastle.
Straight after the coach talks, obviously, if you come off a win, it's a good attitude. But straight in the ice baths, and the next day you're down at the beach doing recovery, and you basically try to lock that game away straight away and focus on the next week's game. So by saying that, the performance staff and the physios these days are unbelievable. So they're always looking after you.
From what you've seen so far, who's a scarier coach as far as giving you a spray, Robinson or Morris? And who is the scariest coach?
Or his dad?
Who is the scariest coach for
or
a
your
spray?
dad?
I remember, I think it was in the under-20s one day. We're kicking for touch, and I tried to bite off more than I can chew, and it didn't go out, and the old man ripped me absolutely for hours when I got home. But I guess I'd probably say Robbo, he's got a spray, but then he also brings it back down to earth as well, which is good.
So Morris is pretty calm, or?
Yeah, I think in his first year in first grade, he didn't want to go too hard too early.
He would have played with half the team, so they probably would have started laughing at him.
Yeah, so it's hard, Some of the guys there are same age, so, and that respect level was there for sure.
Yeah,
how did he coach us for a bloody 2 seasons?
Yeah, Adam coached me. He sucked at it.
It's horrible.
Is there a player at the Roosters that's not really, well known that you think is going to be like light up the NRL one day?
I love Nat Butcher. I reckon he's
but like he's already there. Is a player just like on the fringe who you like?
I think his younger brother actually, Egan Butcher.
Yeah. Okay.
he's a bit sort of a similar player. He plays on the edge, but the same sort of work ethic, and he's destined for big things, I imagine.
I've got
So you're gonna knock out Pearce and Keary for the New South Wales half spot?
They're in fine form, those boys.
You gotta go hit them with a
Cody
tire
Ward,
wrench or
Adam
something.
so
You get a run.
So this was a random thing that I picked up. So just like looking up, we said you did 2018. You played New South Wales residents. 2018 under-20s Origin. Do you know that you hold the record for the most points ever in the Holden Cup?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a ball when I broke the record, I think. So that was a good year, I guess.
And that'll pretty much never be broken because there's no comp. So I'm thinking you've got a chance to create more history, like a little history maker with the 3-peat for the Roosters. I know it's friggin' ages away. Don't even know what's going to happen. But
it could be 12 weeks away.
Could be. When you rocked up, like, obviously Cooper Cronk's still around and he's on a mentorship, and I'll come back to that. But what was the specific instructions from Robinson? Is it just go out there and control the game, but don't do anything too flashy? Did he want you to go out and just play your natural game straight away? Did he give more leadership to Keary? Because he's the one getting hit in the press because of the 0-2 start.
Yep.
What sort of instructions?
So Robert obviously he wanted me to play pretty simple in my first few games. Obviously, build my game up brick by brick. That's the sort of what he says to me, and also to not to try to be Cooper Cronk. Obviously, bring my own personality to the game, and when it comes to game day, really just play footy. Like we work so hard during the week, and when it comes to game day, just play my natural game, and just to make sure I keep learning the Roosters style of play and. Make sure I fit into the defensive systems and really work hard. And comps aren't won in this time of year. It's in November, so that's exactly right.
What's Cronk like? Has he got that air about him, or is he just a normal? Not saying normal because he's but you know what I mean. Like, is he? Is he? Do you see him in kind of like in awe, or is he kind of like being cool about it?
Yeah, I sort of lost that now, I guess. We did a session this morning, actually, just doing a few drills on full work and this little halfback play there. So, obviously getting to know Cooper now. Obviously that idol sort of mentality goes away now. He's more of a mate to me now. So having to touch off him and talk about things during the year is going to be unbelievable for me.
I think I was at who was it? A grand final about 6 or 7 years ago because we went to, I think,
4 in a row.
Yeah, 5 in a row. Up in the top bleachers, like the people we are. But one time I was walking past, I saw Andrew Johns, and now he messed up my pants when I saw him because I'm a Newcastle fan. Is there anyone who's been like that? You're like, holy shit, look who it is. Anyone you've met throughout the whole thing?
I'll cut that bit out. Let's keep going.
When I saw James Tedesco the first time this year, like after what he'd done the last couple of seasons, I was like, shit, is that James Tedesco or what? But and he's a legend of a bloke too now that I got to know him for sure.
He's like, yeah, it's me. Give me the ball.
Just give me the ball.
Without Cooper Cronk, like, I know, I'm a Manly supporter, but a Queensland supporter. So 3 games of the year, I love him. The rest, I just respect him. There's a difference. I love him being on commentary now because he's such a straight talker, like straight to the point. Is there any times where he's just going like straight to you saying, you need to work on this? There's no like if, buts and maybes, or is he more like your I'm a teacher by trade, your compliment sandwich. You're doing this pretty well, need to improve on this, but this is also pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to how he does it, actually. Obviously, he talks about things that I've done good in the game and also tells me things that he wants me to work on during the week, and I just try to go do it in the game, like pretty simply. And it's brick by brick. Don't try to worry about the try assist and the fancy plays, the cut-out passes, making the tackles and really building my game. Obviously, I'm only 10 games in my career. I'm not.
It's 11.
You got to take
that up.
Yeah, you got to take a few. You got to take a few hits in your, I guess, in your first 50 to 100 games, and yeah, my best footy's ahead, I imagine.
And that's pretty much like, with that sort of psychology, basically, I think Cronk's like the best player for that because of how successful he was. You're never going to use the words flashy or exciting, I guess, with Cronk, but it was like more clinical, solid, hardly ever made a mistake. The field goal in Origin from 40 metres out, it was just like, it was down the park, that sort of thing. So you couldn't have had it's pretty hard to get a better mentor than that, I'd say.
And it's just about really like not having too much difference between your worst game and your best game. So making sure you're playing an 8 out of 10 every week rather than a 10 and a 2. You're making sure you're maintaining an 8 every week, and that's something he's pushing for me every week.
I've only got one more. You got anything else?
So with your kicking for goal, you've obviously taken over Latrell Mitchell now.
Yeah.
So when you're going up for the junior grades, they described you as one of the best point scorers ever for junior grades. How much, like, you're obviously pretty confident with your kicking. How much mentally were you different for your first kick in World Club Challenge to where you were juniors? Like, was it it's the same kind of deal. You're walking on a field, but you're playing NRL now. So,
yeah, exactly right. In the World Cup Challenge, I got, I'd say, pretty unlucky, but the coach didn't say that. I thought I hit him all right. That didn't come off. But
what did he say?
Oh, you don't get the goals. There's no goal. There's no such thing as a good miss. You know what I mean? So, in the junior grades, I had obviously a lot of success there. But I guess coming into the first grade, I was pretty nervous about it. I'm starting to really come confident with it now, and I guess you got to just take into consideration, obviously, the bigger occasion, the more pressure on each point that you score in a game, and I guess also the workload. Obviously, your heart rate when you're goal kicking compared to under 20s games a lot higher, and the fatigue in your legs. So that's going to, obviously, the more games I play, the better I'll be for that, and I'm looking forward to it.
Now, you mentioned the World Club Challenge earlier. I had a question, and in that one, it just brought me back to it, saying, honestly, I didn't watch you much when you were playing for Cronulla, but it's just not a team I usually, unless they're playing Manly. But I watch the World Club Challenge every year, and you're one of the best players out there. And considering I love watching the Super League because of, one, the stadiums are way better for league. The crowd's so close. The crowd makes noise. But for that, from what I've seen, very small sample size, that's your best game for the Roosters, and best game that I've seen you play in the career. What was that? Was it the guys around you? Was it the atmosphere? Was it everything? Was it what was on the line? That sort of stuff?
Yeah, I think obviously I wanted to play well in my first game, but the clear focus I had of my role going into the game, obviously, I based a lot of my game around the effort areas, and the effort areas are sometimes really easy to execute. That's whether you're chasing the kick down, just doing small little things about supporting and that sort of stuff. So, I got lucky. I got a few try assists that game, but I guess you get lucky if you do the work, you do the hard work, and the lucky stuff ends up coming in the back end of the halves.
Is there anything from the Super League the NRL should be tapping into to make the atmosphere better here?
Yeah, let the crowd actually do stuff.
I like the I know they're starting to do it now, obviously, with the light shows when you start to walk out, and but the crowd was so close to the sideline. I felt like they were on top of you. I'm not sure how the way the stadiums are built, but the atmosphere was unbelievable. They were singing the whole game, and it was crazy.
So the closest thing we'd have would be like Skilled Stadium, or Seabus now, isn't it? Whatever. The one on the Gold Coast. Like, it's your mini Suncorp, your little rectangular stadium, 20,000 people or whatever. I know it's hard for the Gold Coast, that sort of area, but yeah, you could imagine something like that, but packed, and kind of be something like replicating Super League, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be unreal. Obviously, I think how passionate the fans are over there, and after every penalty they're screaming, and I really enjoyed playing over there in England, and it was
What's the
freezing.
style like?
Absolutely freezing. It's all about line speed there. There's not much wrestle. It's really quick style of play. It's probably a tough sort of footy.
Yeah,
it sort of reminds me of like an A grade sort of game sort of style of footy. But yeah, it was a tough game, and how good we got the win.
Other than Maria Hargraves, you've already touched on, who's the biggest pest in the team? Who's the most annoying bloke? And if it's you, tell us why.
It's definitely not me.
Tedesco.
Nah, he's a guy.
Ah, damn it.
All the boys are pretty good, but I reckon the beers guy, Victor Radley, he's always got something to say.
What about Cronulla?
It's always the smallest forwards who have the most to say.
What about
Cronulla? Oh, my good mate, Aaron Woods. He likes to go around calling people Derek. So, and he is the world's biggest Derek. So, I'd have to say him as well.
Yeah, he doesn't have many fans north of the border, I got to say.
Yeah,
he was a Manly supporter growing up too, and I got to be honest, he's probably the only player I've heard who's grown up supporting Manly who I don't want to play for Manly.
Jesus Christ!
I don't care. It's all good. Jesus. I mentioned earlier I'm a teacher by trade, and teaching some low socioeconomic areas. A lot of footy families, a lot of footy kids, and you get the question of education all the time. And I knew it was a rule back in the day, but is it still in place that all players, or is it just the young players, have to be doing some form of study, some form of work through like career-wise or something like that, just so they're backed up up footy? And what are you doing?
Yeah, so in the under 20s, they had a motto there: if no work or study, you don't play. So I think that was a really good motto coming through the under 20. I don't think it's like that in the first grade. But I study construction management at uni, so I studied full time the last 3 years. I got that done. I like to get my head away from footy and to really focus on doing assignments and watching lectures and that. So I guess I like to have that there, knowing I have myself set up after football.
So say you play on a Friday night, do you go watch the 3 games on Saturday?
Yeah, I don't like to watch too many games after my game, if that makes sense. So if I played on Saturday night, I'd watch both the Friday night games. But after I play my game, I try to switch off footy for that weekend and spend time with the family and not think about footy, because it can be a long year, especially if you're thinking about footy every single day, every single hour. So yeah, try to get a bit of a break away from footy.
Do you enjoy watching it as a fan?
Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. For me now, I get to see like a lot of boys that I've come through the grades with, and like if I'm watching Brisbane, I'm watching Katoni Staggs. I've played with him.
He's a freak.
There's always someone that you know quite well playing in each game, and you're supporting them as well.
I just thought I only brought that up because it was probably, I think last year I got back into the NRL. I always watched it, but there was probably a year and a half where it was kind of just in the background. I paid a bit more attention to union. I was just getting a bit over like the over-analysis from the referee's point of view and blaming the rest, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It just looked like a different game. But we've talked within our mates, with the new rule changes coming in, is there something that just pisses you off about the game that you reckon they should just get rid of that rule, or is there something you want to bring in?
I'm still working out the captain's challenge. I don't know. That's still something to talk about.
We spent about 20 minutes ripping on that in our previous podcast.
We want to speed up the game. By the way, we're going to bring in a challenge that slows down the game.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Would you bring something in?
I think over in England they have a free play. I think.
Yes.
After a knock on. I think that's so you can kick off it, and if it doesn't come off, you come back to where the error was. Or I think that's something that could bring something to the game for sure.
I love that rule.
I've never seen it. It's like a free hitting cricket.
So it's like if the opposition knocks on and you pick it up, instead of getting 0 tackle, you've pretty much got a free play till the ball's dead. So if you want to chip and chase and whatever, and you lose possession, it always comes back to where the knock on was.
That just sounds like carnage.
It's
good. You guys are just like gridiron the ball around, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll have a look. I think like the actual set questions that I really wanted, I've done with, but on that rule thing. Would you be keen for 2-on-1 strips or rakes?
I think that's probably too hard because when you're running, you're not really focused about the ball. I think if you start to focus on holding the ball, I reckon there could be more injuries and that sort of stuff because you're not worried about your body, I guess. So that's probably one thing.
All right, Kyle. Last question, I reckon. Kyle Flanagan away from footy. Like, we kind of started this podcast because we love footy and we just love talking it. And literally last season, we just had some random conversation saying we could try this kind of thing. What's your go-to thing, downtime?
I'm a rubbish golfer, boys. I hope you're not golfers. I'm rubbish at golf, so I'm not.
Yeah, no, we'll do a podcast on golf and get a video of you.
All right, I'll get one through. But I like to get down the beach, have a coffee with my mates, and just enjoy the good vibes, I guess. Getting outdoors and that sort of stuff.
That's
awesome.
Wicked, man. No, I've got
Great.
nothing else. Thanks for coming on, man. That's awesome of you.
All good, guys. All the best for the podcast, and talk soon for sure.
Awesome. Cheers, mate. Play well. We just don't want the Roosters to do too well, but as long as you're doing all right, we're happy.
I hope Manly get the spoon.
Cheers, mate.
That's Manly's job.